With the massive growth that's happening in the Georgetown area, you may be considering a move. Let's talk about the pros and cons of living in Georgetown, Texas. First, if you are looking at houses in Georgetown, you want to talk with a real estate professional, always feel free to reach out. Our contact info is in the description below. Call, text, email, schedule a no obligation consultation with our team, and we look forward to talking with you. Start off with those pros. So first off, outdoor activities. Georgetown is the perfect place to be if you love to get outside. We've got Lake Georgetown, we've got hiking trails, there's plenty of spaces to go camping, boating, swimming. If you enjoy playing sports, we have places where you can go play pickleball for free, basketball courts, tennis courts. There's just plenty of opportunity to get outside and enjoy the natural beauty that we have here in Georgetown. Number 2 is traffic. So if you're somebody who's lived in Georgetown for 10 or 20 years, you may disagree with this being a pro. However, compared to other towns in the area, Georgetown has done a really phenomenal job at planning their roads. So in a lot of towns nearby, there's one major north-south road and one major east-west road. Those are your only options of getting through town. Traffic backs up like crazy. The great thing about Georgetown is typically there's at least 4 or 5 options to get almost anywhere that you're going. So we've got lots of roads, lots of ways to get around, and that really does help keep traffic down, especially compared to other towns in the area. Now, like I mentioned, we've experienced massive growth over the last 10, 15 years, and so traffic is just a part of that growth. But really, compared to other places around, the traffic in Georgetown is actually very manageable. Number 3 is homes with large lots. So if you're somebody who is looking for a home with a large backyard, you want space to move around, Georgetown actually has a surprising number of neighborhoods where the homes are sitting on a half acre, an acre, 5 acres. We have a lot of communities with homes that have space. So if you're looking for a home with some land, Georgetown could be a great place for you to consider. All right, and last but not least is our weather. So, of course, if you live in the Austin area, you experience the same kind of weather. If you're considering a move from out of state, we have really great weather. Now, this actually could be a little bit in the con column as well, but for the most part, we have over 200 sunny days a year. Georgetown is a really great place to have warmth, to have beauty, to be able to be outside and really enjoy everything that the area has to offer. Not to mention, the people here are super friendly. It's a great place to get connected into the community. All right, and moving over into the cons column. So what are the things that make it maybe a little bit more tough to live in Georgetown? So number 1 is the distance to Austin. So if you're somebody who travels into Austin on a regular basis, let's say you go into work to an office downtown Austin 5 days a week, the commute is something to consider. So if you go to places like the Domain or downtown Austin or even South Austin, all of those can be pretty far drives. If you're commuting into downtown Austin, of course, depending on the day and the time, it's usually going to take you about an hour, sometimes longer. So that is something to keep in mind. Number 2 is the competitiveness of extracurriculars. So if you've got kids, you're looking at schools in different areas, much like the rest of the Austin area, there are a lot of kids in our schools, which means there's just a lot of competition for those extracurricular activities. So if you've got kids that want to play sports, for example, there's usually a lot of kids going out for that team, and not everyone is going to make the team. Of course, we've got city leagues, we've got select leagues. There are other opportunities in order to play sports or get involved in other ways. Next up is home prices. So compared to a lot of other places in Williamson County, Georgetown is fairly expensive. It's known for its huge trees, its rolling hills, all the things we mentioned in the pro column. A lot of people want to live in Georgetown, and because of that, home prices are a little bit higher than other places in Williamson County. Of course, it's a great place to live. Next up is weather. So I know we talked about this in the pro column, but there are some things to mention in the con column as well. Again, if you're out of state considering a move to the area, these are important things to know. So, when thinking about our weather, really it's our summers and our winters that can get pretty intense and crazy. In the summer, we regularly have long streaks of time where every day is above 100 degrees. It's very hot and very humid. Thankfully, everywhere you go is going to have air conditioning. So as long as you're inside of a building, you'll be just fine. But summers get very, very hot. And then conversely, in the winters, we do tend to every few years have a freeze. We have several days of significantly below freezing temperatures. I'm sure you heard about the freeze of 2021 where we lost power for several days. It was complete insanity. That doesn't happen all the time. And the great thing about winter in Texas is you really tend to get breaks. So we will have 15, 20, 25 degree days, but those typically are broken up with a few days in the 60s or 70s, and so we do get a break there in the winter, which is great. Spring and fall are absolutely gorgeous and make the rest of the weather that we deal with absolutely worth it. And last up is property taxes. So, in Texas in general, we do tend to have higher property taxes than a lot of other places in the U.S. Typically in Georgetown, you're going to see property taxes in the 1.9 to 3% range. Because a lot of Georgetown is established, we have a lot of older homes here as well, you are able to find several neighborhoods that do have lower tax rates than the rest of the area. Of course, if you're looking at new construction homes, I'd expect to be in that mid 2% range. But even then, there are some neighborhoods in the high 1.9 to 2.1, 2.2. There's some great options that are a little bit lower, but again, it is quite a bit higher than some other states. And there you have it, our pros and cons for living in Georgetown, Texas. I want to hear what you guys think. If you've got other ideas of pros and cons, definitely leave me some comments below. If you want more information about Georgetown, about the real estate market, definitely like and subscribe to our channel in order to stay in the loop. And if you're considering a move to Georgetown, we would love to talk with you. We're Chris and Rachel Bennett with Wildwood Group, your favorite Georgetown area realtors. Our contact info is all in the description below. Please feel free to call, text, schedule an appointment with us for a no obligation consultation. And we look forward to talking with you soon.